Welcome, blessed star family. I'm the magical medium, and welcome to the spiritual guidance channel. Today, we are working with the third phase of the moon. It is the first quarter moon, and the energy around that is about taking action. Where do we need to take action? Interesting. I thought that cedar went out, and look at that. I didn't even have to do anything. So that sacred cedar is cleansing your energy field. It's cleansing your aura. All you have to do is give permission from Spirit to allow this transmission and this healing process to happen. We're going to do a channeling from Spirit and a healing, and then we're going to speak with the Fairy Tarot. And we are going to talk about abundance and where we need to take action on our abundance. Okay. So take in some deep breaths, whatever feels good to you. Breathe out. And when you're breathing in and out, just picture your whole body. Close your eyes if you can. Close your eyes and picture your body being filled with light, airy energy. And say with grace and gratitude, I accept this healing transmission. Thank you, Spirit. With grace and gratitude, we accept this healing transmission. Thank you, Spirit. With grace and gratitude, we accept this healing transmission. Thank you, Spirit. Keep breathing in and out. And on the exhale, just release all that which no longer serves you. It's cliche, but it's true. It's a very simple way to say that. Because we don't know exactly what we need sometimes, do we? Especially if we're lost in the fray. My beautiful soul family, I am struggling today. I tried to call in sick, I was like, can we just do this tomorrow, maybe later today? Because I'm just like, no. And they're like, no. Because when I signed on to do this with Spirit, I agreed to do it when they wanted me to. And they wanted me to do it in the energy of it. The first quarter moon came in at around 2:19 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for me, according to, I believe it was Moon Giant. I don't remember which one it was now, but so interestingly enough, I really wanted to do it early, yada, yada, yada. And I am now, it's got to be at least 3 something, maybe 4 something now. I'm not sure, I lost track of time, but I am really feeling this first quarter moon energy. And this is Aries is like, I kind of feel like the elders have just stepped in and they're like, listen, you guys have got to take some action in some places in order for things to happen. This is all of us. They're going to speak to us further through the Fairy Tarot. I am not mentally, emotionally, or physically well enough to do a major channeling today, but I am open spirit to any messages for any of those who are watching this right now. I'm going to bring in more of that healing energy. I love this. Satguru was talking about rub your hands together for 20 seconds. I don't know, I'm not looking because my eyes are closed, but I feel like Spirit will tell me when to stop. Focus, our gut, our gut, our gut, our gut. Blockage in our sacral chakra. I was going to do a fun energy thing with you guys, but I know that there's a blockage in our sacral chakra, all of us. I feel like there's just, it's all tied up. It's all tied up. It's all disconnected. Like I literally feel like some of you, like your tubes are tied, like you've had your, what they call, you know, when you have your tubes tied so that you can't have children anymore. Like literally, like I just like saw a visual of that too. So I don't know what that means for anybody. No insensitivity. If there is, I'm not, they're just very matter of factly saying things right now. Um, but yeah, it's like I feel like a lot of us are jumbled up. That's our divine feminine, our sacral chakra. It's where, you know, the umbilical cord of life, of birth. And you do not have to be in a quote unquote female body to still feel that energy, you know? It doesn't matter if you have a penis or a vagina. It has, that is not your sacral chakra and that connection to life. We all came into this life connected to an umbilical cord of mother. So when we think of the divine mother, that's life, that's source. So if we are disconnected from that life, from that source, then we are disconnected from everything else. I just had an epiphany of my own life right now. So thank you, Spirit, or download, I guess. But what pinged for you? What's pinging for you? What's out of order? What's out of alignment? I feel like in order for our abundance to flow, we have to take action on freeing the divine feminine, the goddess energy. And I've been getting that too. Like, I feel like for some of us, like, we need to take charge. We really need to be the leader. And we have to say, okay, this is what's going to happen now. This is what, you know, blah, blah, blah. And we do it with love and with grace and gratitude. And we sit with spirit, because what's happening right now is I know that I'm feeling like a shit show right now, right? I'm a superpowered empath. So I'm feeling like a shit show because we're in eclipse season and a retrograde, a very serious Mercury retrograde, because this is the first, if it's true, um, that the new earth has already begun in this Aries and this new astrological, like it's really gone, the third dimensional, like it's gone. It's going to make sense that the darkness is in that part of us is going to keep clawing for us, coming for our divine feminine, wanting to choke that bitch out, because that's how, think about that. I watched some old movie where he's like, I'll choke that bitch out. And I was like, oh, like now I could barely stomach. I used to love old movies, black and white movies. I used to love it. And I used to think they were romantic and charming. And now I watched it and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I'm like, you just backhanded that woman. Like, what just happened? I'm like, what just happened? You know, like there's some dark, twisted fucking shit there. And I know for myself, I've been like in this embodiment of it and working through it and realizing just how broken and damaged the divine masculine is on this planet at this time, and how much work we need to do to bring it to life. But we cannot, you know that old saying, you cannot heal where you're hurt. So with grace and gratitude, I'm going to come back to the healing, and I call upon the healing energies of the universe. I ask that you heal me and this tribe and all those who watch this. I call upon their higher selves and my higher self. I ask that you heal us all from the inside out and the outside in. I ask that we all release and let go of all the pain and suffering that no longer serves us. Let it go. There's so much, there's so much, there's so much. Let it go. Cry. I've been crying a lot too. Yes, release it, let it go. I'm massaging your energy and your aura. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I love you so much. Spirit loves you so much. If we only knew how much, like right now when I'm connecting with you, can you feel it? Like my whole body's tingly. So thank you, Goddess Mother, for we're opening the pathway for you to come in. And we ask the Divine Masculine to take a seat for a while. You don't have to work so hard to prove yourself. We all have masculine and feminine in us. Do you hear me? It's that masculine that's like, do it, keep going, blah, 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 work yourself to death, blah, blah, you know. And Spirit's like, no, let's bring back in that. Yeah, you were meant to feel jolted in that, right? Because we're energy. So they're trying to give you an example. You feel that? When you break that energetic flow, it doesn't give you room to grow. So I'm building you back up. Can you feel it? Oh, I just felt it myself from Spirit. Oh, I love it. Yes, thank you. I'm having a conversation with them. Send you healing energy for a minute, or they are. I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday. My husband's like, "Do you realize that you recognize how much you rhyme?" I'm like, "Sometimes." I go, "Sometimes." I'm like, "It just comes out that way." So accept this healing. Accept this healing. 1014. That's our angel number to work with. It's also the number 6. The number 6 has been coming up a lot. I'm feeling healing energy though. Also, I'm hearing for some of you, this is going to be this may be extreme for some of you, but grow up, just deal with it. Get out of your third dimensional ego. But I'm hearing that some of you have been thinking about growing your body hair out. And Spirit's saying, yes, grow it out. Let me tell you something. When I first moved to the Pacific Northwest, I was always, my everything perfectly shaved, beautiful, coiffed, whatever. And, it's fine. It's nice and everything, but I'll tell you something. Ever since I was blessed with 2 beautiful goddesses that came into my life when I moved out here, and I grew to love my hair, and I haven't shaved. Once in a while I'll shave my legs, but it's only because I barely have hair on my legs, so sometimes it's like raggedy legs, like it looks kind of silly to me. And so like I'll just like really quick and get it off, but like it takes so long for it to get to that point. It's like all winter that I'm just like and I pretty much can go all summer, so I'm blessed that way. Okay, and if you want to look at it that way, I am not a hairy person. That is just the avatar that I chose. But if you are an avatar that has hair, you may want to ask yourself, like if you're really hairy, like, why did you choose an avatar with hair? Right? Recently I saw something where someone was like, I had all my hair removed on my body, and I was like, we need that hair for protection. It wouldn't have been given to us if we didn't need it. And if you want to clean it up and make it look pretty, or draw a fucking lightning bolt, whatever rocks your world, that's cool. But it is there for a reason. And for some people who are having trouble getting pregnant and things like that, I know that this is going to sound bizarre. I've never heard this before, so I'm channeling things from Spirit, but there's something to that. And there's something about the pheromones too. That's all they said. So I don't know if, when I looked down, it was 1222. So I don't know if that means anything to anybody. And this isn't like any other, you know what I mean? I'm not a doctor. I'm just channeling what I hear. That's all I can say. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there. But they want us to, do what feels good to us, and let go of these preconceived notions and all this. Like, we have been programmed beyond anything we can really understand. And when you start pulling yourself out of it slowly, 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 all of a sudden it becomes like that fucking boulder that's going downhill, and you cannot see it for any other way than it is again. And I feel like right now we're in a really pivotal time of change and transformation. 1303. And I feel as if we are about to embark on something. 1310 and then 1311. So these numbers mean something to you guys. You must be seeing them a lot. Or 1113 or 1131. You're seeing like series of numbers like that, right? When they have me calling it out, it's because you guys are seeing them for a reason and you're ignoring them. And Spirit, it's almost like the fairies and Spirit are kind of like, if if you want to keep ignoring it, like, that's cool. They're like, that's cool. They're like, but then you're wondering like why certain things aren't happening. And they're like, it's because you're refusing to, change X, Y, and Z, or, move forward from something or whatever. And it's a pattern that has to be broken. 1349 and then 1350. And all these 13s have me looked at 1349. 49 is 13. 550 is change and transformation. Like, that $100 bill is there because they want us to see that we are worth it. That is like nothing, that we can make that in nothing. I charge $100 an hour, but it's a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper, right? But I charge $100 an hour, and I'm worth every single cent. When we accept that we are worth it, that's when the abundance flows. However, have you ever heard that term? My rosemary, oh no, it's from a song. My rosemary goes where something flows, and nobody knows but me. If we keep things hidden and secret, We're building up to the full moon. The full moon's next week. It's the moon in Scorpio. Scorpio, I know it's my moon, so it is one of the most secretive signs of the zodiac. Because Scorpios have a tendency to see things. They can see right through the fucking bullshit. They're the human bullshit barometers. We're the keepers of the planet of the bullshit. And right now, in order for us to have our abundance, we have to take action on our own bullshit and the bullshit around us. And call out the bullshit and say, you know what? This is bullshit. Also, Spirit wanted me to prepare you that, remember that I just said my moon is in Scorpio and I am in a dark and a double dark energy, triple dark energy, because we're in a dark moon of the Aries, eclipse season, and Mercury retrograde. And it's about going back. It's about looking at things. One of the things I said to my husband today through tears, before I met you, I never had to worry about money. Well, that's not true. The difference is I just worked 2-3 jobs if I had to make sure that I didn't have to worry about money. Some people take one job, overspend, overlive what they can't afford, live beyond means, like Taurus, right? Taurus can be very grounded and earthy and wonderful, right? But Taurus also loves things. Fairies like things too. Fairies like to be surrounded in crystals and abundance and a warm fire. See how the fairy's sitting there by the fire? But they're calling out our bullshit. They're calling out our bullshit now. They're saying, listen, you're not going to get this fucking money. Things aren't going to happen for you if you don't make changes. And I am demanding change in my life. I am demanding money because I know I'm worth it. You are worth it. It's just a piece of paper with numbers on it. Right? It's a piece of paper with numbers on it. Here's my calendar. Okay? So I can just as easily put $1 million by 12/28. Ooh, I didn't say this. Spirit said this to me. $1 million by 12/28/2024. Do you believe it? Do you believe you'll have $1 million? I do. I know for a fact I will. I'm on the right track. I can feel it. I'm working with the energies. I'm looking at my ugliness. I'm looking at my bitch, my whore, my thief. I have to look her in the fucking face because she's my karma. And whether I like her or not doesn't fucking matter. I gotta look at her. Ooh, thank you, fairy. Did you see that fairy fly through? I have to look at her and love her and forgive her. Because the only times I ever stole was when I had to. But I didn't have to, right? Look, I was going to justify it because I really felt that. And then like my higher self came in and said, but you didn't have to. You could have asked for help. You tried to do it alone. You tried to be cool. You tried to prove something to your parents, to your friends. Yeah, I'll be a whore. You're a fucking cool, hot guy. I'm not so pretty. I mean, I'm an okay looking girl, but I'm kind of chubby. You know what? Yeah, I'll fuck you. Because that's what I deserve. I don't deserve a man to love me or a woman to love me. That's hard to say to you. But the only thing clogging our abundance is not looking at that stuff. Or acting as if that stuff never happened. We don't have to dwell on it, but we have to look at it. That's what this darkness comes here for. It comes for us. That's what karma is. She's a teacher. Yeah, she's strict. It's not all an eye for an eye, though. You know, sometimes it's an eye for, a person. Sometimes it's an eye for a car. It's a material thing. It's a human thing. 1949. I feel like that's a year for some of you guys. Maybe you died, maybe you were born. But we need to be translucent and transparent, and all those beautiful, glittery, shimmery, beautiful vibes from the fairies. We're not bad people, right? Remember Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way, right? Like, she's like, I don't, she just saw herself as this, beautiful creature, and she was loving and stuff. But like, the person who created her gave her big breasts, small waist, big booty, big lips, and all this kind of, someone's version of what beauty is. I just saw some reality star who tried to look and be like Kim Kardashian is dead. She was getting some procedure done and she had a heart attack. I don't know what the procedure was. I haven't seen it. It's really none of my business, but I knew I was meant to talk about it because it came into my orbit in such an odd way. And I was just like, oh, bless her sweet soul, And everybody talked about her and said she was the kindest, most loving person. And, but sometimes people want to emulate and be something that they're not, instead of just being happy with who she was and being this kind. I don't even know what she looked like before. And I'm not judging. I'm just, you know what I mean? And money. What is money? It's a form of currency. What is currency? It's give and take. What is karma? Action, reaction. We are loaded and overloaded right now in our own shit. Now imagine all of those who don't recognize New Earth, who don't recognize that this is the new beginning. We are changing millennias of trauma, abuse, terror, love, joy, oppression, idolation. What is a God if it is not idolation? Of course we come from something. But look at the most beautiful, kindest, gentle parts of us. That comes from our Creator. So I don't believe that our Creator is somebody who's like, mean or wants us to suffer. That's why I couldn't get on board with religion. When I was a kid, I couldn't get on board with it because I couldn't believe in a quote unquote father or a deity that I was supposed to be fucking terrified of. I'm like, that makes no sense to me. I'm like, none of this fucking shit makes sense. And when you start to look at it, the less and less you realize, like, or I should say, the more and more you realize that we were just really asleep for real. Like, my whole body is tension right now. Like, I feel like I'm shaking and I'm channeling the ancestors. I'm like literally channeling the ancestors right now. Because this rage and this pain and this suffering, we all have to look at our own stuff. We love and forgive others, but we don't allow them to steal our livelihood, our love for ourselves. No one can do that but us unless we give it to them. Do you know what I'm saying? That darkness is only present if we allow it to be there. I love nighttime. It's quiet. When I saw my birthday sister's album, Midnights or whatever, there's this song in there where she talks about like midnights like her afternoon. I totally get that. Me too. And so, I try to fight the moon. I try to sleep on other people's schedules. And it's just, it does not work for me. And I'm finding more and more and more that the only schedule that I really want to be on is the one that works for me, not for others. So I encourage you to do the same, 24/16. Because right now we don't have the energy or the bandwidth to help others. We have only that for ourselves. And if we have a little left to give, then we give it in a loving support where and when we can, but then we make sure that we don't deplete ourselves. When you're feeling good, go and share that energy with someone who's in the light with you. Because that that's kind of that energy that feeds off, that's beautiful. And then we go into the darkness. Sure. Every day we do, whether we want to or not. It's there for a reason. So are the equinoxes and the solstice. You know, I mean, come on. It's also omnipresent and obvious. The more we work against the natural flow of this planet, you know, it doesn't matter where the fuck we all come from or where we're going afterwards. It's what we're doing here, right now. That is what matters. And that piece of paper right now, I could set it on fire and I can't get that back. I could bring it burnt to the bank and trade it in. But if it burnt all the way down to nothing, they're not going to give me anything. I'm going to be like, so I accidentally set my $100 bill on fire. They'll be like, yeah, I'm sure you did, honey. You know what I mean? You and, you know what I mean? Right? It's like we're burning our own fucking assets to the ground by giving to others. And how's that working for us is what Spirit's saying. So we're going to jump into this card because I feel like it wants to talk to us. So the Prince of Spring. Interesting. Charming, self-confident, passionate, and restless. Look at that. We're in taking action, and it says immediate action. Immediate action, a challenge you can successfully manage a passionate relationship. Okay, so I feel like this is going to be building up. Also, I'm going to get my little trusty dusty. Ooh, also, before we go any further, I was called to kind of bring these things in here. So whatever comes out is what we're supposed to hear today. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Oh, okay. They said the ones that are flipped up. The ones that are flipped up. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put away the ones that aren't. There's one that landed on the camera, and I feel like it's going to be like our, you know, it's either going to be for a shorts or it's going to be for like the end of this. Ooh, look at that, 80. Interesting. 80. I'm going to come down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. Put these away. And I feel like they're going to have me pick them up like as we, you know what I mean? Like as we go. Okay. So this one right away like spoke to me. So I'm going to go right in for this one. And it says, the man who has confidence in himself gains the confidence of others. It's a Hasidic proverb. So the man who has confidence in himself, what does it say? Gains the confidence of others. Okay. So that's the one we're going to work with right now. Interesting too that it's the Prince of Spring. And then like, I mean, they all have different quotes on them. You know what I mean? Some are from women, some are from men. But it says Hasidic proverb, but it says the man, right? And what did I just fucking say about this masculine energy? And we get a prince. And that's what we're dealing with here. The Prince of Spring. So spring, and this is the fairy tarot. And in the fairy tarot, spring is cups, water. It represents, in fact, you know what? I'm going to get my book because I have some really great notes on this deck. I don't use it all the time, but when I do use it, I usually pull this out, but I wasn't pulled to this time. Okay, so interesting. So spring is west, water, Gabriel. The signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, the water signs. So interesting, we were just talking about Scorpio as well. So this could be you're dealing with a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or you are that person, or both. But I'm hearing to call on Gabriel because Gabriel's also the archangel of communication. West and water are connected with that. What I was going to say too, Spirit, if I can just say this before I forget, I definitely got a huge download. Yes, thank you. Green light to say this, that think about this. We didn't get the king of spring. We got the prince of spring. So you need to start looking at certain masculine energies in your life. And I say energies because it could be a woman that you're dealing with, quote unquote, that's very masculine driven. Or, you know, it could be you that like maybe you've been like your masculine side's been too present because someone's got to do it kind of thing. You know what I mean? Um, but it's interesting that it's the prince of spring. So when we think of a prince, right, the prince is young, they're rash, they don't think, they haven't had enough time, you know. Like, look, he's probably going off to, he's like, I want to be in war, father, I want to go fight too. And he's like, but son, you're not, you haven't really, he's like, I want to go. And he's like, no, you're my only son, you know. And so like, we're gonna send him out, but just like take him over there. You know what I mean? Because he's not really ready for battle. Interesting for me. Oh my gosh, you guys, those of you who know my personal life know that that is so crazy because the person in my life is that I'm having trouble with is 80 and is a Pisces. Oh, that's so crazy. But see what I mean? Like, that shit is real. So charming, self-confident, passionate, and restless. But also, I'm just feeling a really strong, immature vibe, almost like they can't help themselves. So it says immediate action, a challenge you can successfully manage, a passionate relationship. So for some of you, whatever this is, whomever this prince in your life is, this prince of spring, they probably are all these things. They're charming, they're very confident and passionate and restless, right? So when we get these cards, they're not like upright and reversed like a tarot. It's more like there's multiple messages in that, you know. It's like, because it depends on, are you in shadow or are you in light right now when you're receiving the message, right? Like, you can watch this reading now and watch it a year from now, and I guarantee you'd see it a completely different way because you'd be a different person. So also, rabbits are badass mofos, but they are also fear. There's a lot of fear. So right now, the divine masculine is in fear because they're losing control. And they've had control for a long time, and now they don't have it. So it could just be that whoever this divine masculine is in your life, you know, they're just having a really hard time letting go. Also, I like the numbers went away, and this feels like a boomerang. So I feel like for our down under people, you know, there could be something to do with that. Also, look at how it's like white and black, right? Like the shadow, but the light, see how the light's on top of the shadow? I feel like this is, you know, who you are, but the shadow is just like laying dormant. And you can look at it this way too, is, you know, it could be just the number 8, you know, or it could be three rocks, you know what I mean? It could be one round rock, and you're like, how come I can't balance the rocks, you know? You know, see, these could be rocks balancing. It's all in the way you look at things. So, but it's interesting that this is the prince of spring, and then that little thing says the man who has confidence in himself gains the confidence of others. But I guess it depends, right? Because if someone is acting confident, but you feel that they're bullshit, deep down they know you feel it too, right? It's interesting because I have people who are like will literally tell me to my face, like, I hate you. And I'm like, I know, I know you do. And they're like, but I also like really respect you. And I'm like, I know. And I'm like, you don't hate me, dude. You hate yourself. Like, and that's okay. And I will be this mirror for you as long as you need me to be. You know, but to a certain point. But also, again, taking action, and it says immediate action. So there's something in your life that needs immediate action right now. But it's a challenge that you can successfully manage. You just have to believe in yourself. Maybe it's time for you to channel this energy. Because I kind of felt like at first this was people or someone or something that represents that for us, this card. But now I kind of feel like it's going to the flip side of it, you know, where it's like, you know, maybe this is us and this is our young masculine that isn't getting attention. I've been seeing readings lately from readers about teenagers, and I don't know if people are copying off each other or they're just channeling the same fucking shit. But I've been kind of doing experiments lately, watching like the month of May Sagittarius readings from completely different readers, and they're all like pulling the same cards, same message. It's really interesting. But then there's some where I'm like, interesting, you're the only one. So I always kind of like think to myself, what does that mean? Are you just channeling something that other people aren't? But sometimes I'll go back and I'll be like, not really, like, none of that stuff happened for me, and I'm a triple Sag, you know? So, I don't know, just be mindful of, like, what's out there right now. There's a lot of fucking bullshit and wolves in sheep's clothing and all that shit. So, believe whatever you want to believe. But the Prince of Cups also means that, you know, we're talking about cups. Like, my cup runneth over. And again, we come back to money and abundance. What is your connection with money? Because even if you came from money, you know, if you have a lack mentality, it doesn't matter. If you're struggling and suffering from a lack mentality, it doesn't matter. Also, it says a passionate relationship. What if we took immediate action, a challenge you can successfully manage, like money? What if the immediate action, we were talking about abundance, right? So, what if that immediate action is having a passion? You know, the challenge you can successfully manage is because you have a passionate relationship with money. And just keep saying it over and over. I love money and money loves me. And you know what I mean? And just like saying cute little rhymes and like whatever you need to, you know, bring it into your, ooh, look at this. The 10 of winter. Yes, we're coming out of that. We're coming out of it. I'm telling you, you guys, next month, May, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be well worth it if we just like hang in there, take everything in stride and work through the shit. I literally like recorded almost an hour long of me crying and bitching to send to my friends and my close like client people, just because I kind of fell off the radar again. And I just, because I've been going through so much heavy shit. And by the time I was done with it, I was like, do I even need to send this? So I guess if you get it, you'll know. And if you don't, it was just because I needed to get that shit out. You know, but look at this, the 10 of winter. The resolution of difficulties, a weight lifted off of your shoulders, the end of an addiction or codependency. Woo, that is so righteous. That is beautiful. Now, this is winter, right? So 10 is the end of something, a completion. And winter is the north, earth. We are in Taurus right now. So the fact that we are in Taurus energy, and then we're going to have a new moon in Taurus. We're going to carry that earth energy with us as we go into Gemini season, which we will need. Okay. So this year can be really magical and beautiful, but we have to, you know, they're like saying, this is your outcome. This is your outcome. Right. But nothing ever changes if nothing ever changes. 3731. 37 is also number 10, and 13 or 31 is 13 backwards, but it's mirroring itself. And that's the goddess talking to us. 13 is the number of the goddess. And she's saying there's no more struggling, no more suffering. Because you know what? Remember, like some time ago in these readings, Spirit told us if we didn't make the changes, they would make them for us. But we need to trust it. So spend as much time alone as possible these days. Go for a walk. You know, wherever you live, you're in fall or you're in spring in our northern, southern hemisphere families. But those of us that we're really coming out of not just winter, like we're in full spring now. Well, we're coming out of the winter of the dark night of the soul, some of us. And all of us are in different stages of the dark night of the soul, beginning, middle, and end. And those of us who are coming out of the end of it, it's because we don't want to struggle anymore. We know that this abundance belongs to us. We earned it. We earned this shit, man. We don't have to explain anything to anybody. We earned it with pride. And we've paid off our fucking karmic debt. And now with light and love and all that good shit, peace and happiness, you know what I mean? We are going to move forward. The resolution of difficulties, a weight lifted off our shoulders, and the end of an addiction or codependency. Because something's going to click. You're finally going to say, I'm done. I am done. And Spirit's going to say, yep, you are. So you ready? They're like, then be done. Okay. This one just called to me. And it says, be the change that you wish to see in the world, by Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi. I said it wrong last time. Right? And we know this one, but it's a good one. Be the change you want to see in the world. I feel like I meant to cover that up. Be the change you want to see in the world. It's also the number 8, though, and I feel like it's the spider, so maybe I shouldn't. I think that was my own personal shit. Sorry. because I can't help but look at that and look at a certain person. And I'm just gonna leave it there. Okay, these two are right in front of this card, so I'm gonna pick these up and leave these. These are actually there's a hawk feather down here, and they're by that feather, so I'm gonna leave that there and work with the hawk spirit animal. That is our spirit animal. It's been coming through a lot lately, so definitely if you haven't worked with it yet, this is a big hell yeah to get in there and do it. Okay, so from Theodore Roosevelt, believe you can, and you're halfway there. Yes. And that's what I've been doing, like keeping the money on the altar. Because if you believe you can, then you're halfway there. We have to believe it. There's been these cycles. I'm going to put this in the ashes because I feel like that's what we are. We're like the phoenix rising out of the ashes. Like, you have to believe it. You have to believe it. That's what energy does. If you believe it, then energy flocks to it. You know, put it all around you. You know, there's this really great artist right now on American Idol that made it to the top 12, Lucy Love, and she fucking fought her ass for it. But not just that, she's a really talented artist. She has a lot to give. She has a lot to, she's just amazing. And they showed her house, and she had like these post-its everywhere, and she has all these like different mantras and stuff. And, you know, she's like, I believe in that stuff. And Katy Perry was really cute. She's like, I do too, you know, and it is. And it's like, you know, if you can still have wealth and riches around you, if you don't have the paper version of it. Like, look at how the money is trying to peek through back here. Like, they had me do that for a reason, right? Like, it's trying to peek through. Also, look at how this is a divine feminine energy, and she's just starting to shadow. She's around the same age, right? Like, if you look at her from the back, she looks about the same age. And I feel like she is the teenage, like I almost feel like for some of us, the teenage girl in all of us, right? Like, I don't fucking care, because I know I was that friend at the parties growing up in high school that all my friends would, you know, or even if it was like somebody I wasn't super good friends with, whether it was a jock, you know, whatever you want to put him, whatever category, you know. Sorry about that. That's my landlord. Ooh, look, he's going up to work on the cabin. Anyway, that's what I was just talking about. Isn't that interesting? See how shit fucking works, man. It's like very interesting. So those are the people who would tell me when they were drunk, their innermost dreams. Those real macho guys would tell me things about, like, you know, maybe more feminine things or whatever. They wanted to express that feminine side. They felt like they can be themselves with me. And I was like, yeah, because I'm a fairy, man. I'm a witch. I'm a cool. But I always knew I was special and different, but I didn't understand, you know. And now I look back on it and I'm like, that's exactly what it is. It's that energy of the divine feminine. It's that nurturer. It wants everybody to succeed. That's why it's there. But we need the yin and yang of it, right? We need to go into, you know, that dark, heavy masculine to protect ourselves and yada, 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 right? So everything does happen for a reason all the time, even if we can't see it. So the next one is the road may be bumpy, but stay committed to the process. Anonymous. Yeah, so like whatever stage you're in right now, yeah, it's bumpy because it's supposed to be bumpy, right? It's meant to be bumpy right now because we're in the learning stages. We are in, you know, let me go down there. We're more in the dark. We're in the dark right now. We're in shadow. We're in eclipse season. You know, this full moon coming up in Scorpio, it's an eclipse moon. Right? So we're meant to, you know, see that, but also look at this. You can see that little bit of light still shining on their wing, you know, like we need both. We need the divine masculine and the divine feminine, but there will be times in our lives where the light will overshadow the dark because it needs to, and the dark will overshadow the light because it needs to. Interesting. I thought this would be our last message, but, oh, but they wanted me to bring it in now because it's a repeat. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, so interesting. They're like bookends, right? Because out of the ashes, right? Like we're in the ashes and we're at the rock bottom and we're like, I can't do it. I'm tired. I can't do it, spirit. I know that was me today crying, right? You know? And they're like, you can do it. You can do it. You're going to rise out of the ashes. You're going to rise out of the ashes and you're going to get above all this shit. You're going to rise above it. You're going to rise above it. And you're going to end up here. Because you know You know, you get it. Believing is halfway there. But you're in the 10 of winter, so you're coming out of it. This, I cannot stop because this is at the bottom of the deck right now. So I had to show you because my eyes kept going to it. So I know I'm supposed to show you. So look at the Queen of Winter at the bottom of the deck. She's strong. She's patient. She's self-sufficient, and she's funny, right? Because you need a fucking sense of humor to get through this shit, right? And on the bottom, I'm like laughing so hard because it's true. It says, let go of people or things that no longer serve you. Now is the time to focus on your career. Unmarried or divorced individuals. Ooh. So this could be, you know, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married or you're not, you know, this is kind of, I mean, I feel like this is, you know, you've journeyed away from this energy. I feel like it's like this, we need to now journey away from this energy. And she's going off on her own so she can do it on her own because she doesn't need anybody. Look at, even as a queen, she's sitting in there by herself. I think there might be an animal next to her, but I can't see because my eyes, even with these glasses, I can't see. But, you know, but look at how beautiful that is. And look at how similar the colors are. And what's the Queen of Winter? Taurus, earth, energy. But it's also Uriel. Did I say before that, oh no, Gabriel was spring. I was like, did I say? Yeah, so Uriel is a feminine energy. So, right? So it's earth, Gaia. You've been very strong and you've been very patient, but you are self-sufficient and you're funny and you're, you know what? Your sense of humor is going to get you through it too. You're going to be laughing your ass off all the way. I feel, okay, so I feel like this, yes, I'm going to put this here, but believe you can, I feel like this is like your outcome. Oh, look at that. She got knocked down. She's like, I'm out. Okay, because I feel like these three under here, you want to pull another one? I think they want to pull one more card. All right, so let me see do you have any more messages for a spirit? I feel like for all of us, it's like basically it's about believing in it. It's about believing in ourselves. It's about loving ourselves. It's at the end of the day, like, you know, like the focus, like right now they just put the focus on the $100 bill. So the focus is on the money, but instead of looking at the money, they're like, but why don't you focus on the Queen of Winter, like her success? See, she doesn't have to fucking show the money. She is the money. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at, she's in this gorgeous, beautiful sleigh, super fancy, you know, like she's not playing. She's like, this is a nice ride, man. She's like, and she was strong and patient. It took her a minute to get there, but she got there. So that's what they're saying, 4729, you know, you're so close. And look at the way she's dressed. And she isn't, look at even her scepter is like glowing. She doesn't have to worry about the money. The money just comes to her because she's doing what she loves. That's what I just heard from Spirit too. If you're like, what should I do? They're like, do what you love. They've been saying this to us over and over and over and over. And they're like, and we can keep saying it if you want us to, but they're like, do what you love. It's really not that hard. They're saying like, just do what you love. And if you don't know what that is, then take some time away from the world to figure that out. Okay? Sorry, that was like right in the speaker. I thought we were done, but oh, and look at that at the bottom of the deck. The Magician. And that's you. Look at that. The scepter. She's got the scepter. And look at, and also see how the Magician is a masculine energy, but do you see how like he's super calm? You know, he looks nice. He's dressed nice, but he's not like this dude's like, you know, look at me, look at my rabbit. My rabbit's got a nice outfit. And there's nothing wrong with this, but they're just like, yeah, but if you can't afford this shit, then, you know, and if this is just all smoke and mirrors and this is what you want people to think of you, but that's not who you really are. Like in the background, you're fucking like got people like burning up your phone, trying to get money from you, right? That's because you didn't make that money the way you were meant to. Find your inner magic and everything will fall into place. I promise you. I've been watching like my world change and blow up in really cool ways. The more I've been like doing things that I love or doing things that make me laugh or, you know, whatever. Like Lula's life's been a godsend for me. It's really helped me work through a lot of my shit. So, you know, and this says on the bottom, you can do anything. Take charge of your life. You can manifest what you need to be a success. Yes. What did we say in that last reading? We were talking about being, or it was reading 2. If you didn't watch the last, whatchamacallit reading, last picker reading for the waxing crescent, I highly recommend you go check it out. It was really powerful. And, you know, and it was about being master manifestors, and that like we are our own master manifestors. Okay, so I don't think these cards are for us unless they want me to read. I'm going to read these first because we're getting on 15 minutes now. Ooh, 5, change transformation. Because it might be for another reading. Anyway, it says, act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. William James. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does, because it does. And everything you do right now makes a difference. You know, like how you handle things, how you're dealing. You know, I am not super proud of like things that have been going on in my world. But, you know, I've had to deal with some shit that I'm just like, and I just don't have the bandwidth. That was what I said to Spirit. And I said in the video when I was complaining and crying, I'm like, I just don't have the fucking bandwidth, man. I just don't have it in me like the way I used to. Okay. Ooh, another Hasidic proverb. Let's see what this says. Oh, is it the same one? The man who has the confidence? Okay, I think that might be, now I have to look because, okay, it might have been that one. Believe you can and you're halfway there. No, that is that one. Sorry, you guys. I didn't even be so weird about it, but you know, I just always like to make sure that I got the right things being said. So, well, they're having me read it again, so clearly they want us to think about it again. Okay, so the man who has confidence in himself. So the person who has confidence in themselves gain the confidence of others. So the only way you're going to be able to do this is if you have confidence that you can do it. And you need to figure out a way to find that confidence. Oh, and our last one is from Walt Disney. I love this one. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. That is frickin' perfect, because that is exactly right. Like, you can talk about shit all day long, but until you actually start doing it, it's just going to be a dream. Okay, so they're not having me do these cards. So I think they're probably going to be for shorts, or they're going to be for the next picker reading. I'm not sure, so stay tuned for that. There are 4 cards. I don't know what they are. I'm actually going to, I'm turning them over really quickly right now because I'm like, I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them. Okay, so stay tuned for that. They'll either be in shorts or they will be in the next picker reading. Anyway, you guys, I hope this helped you in any way. And thank you for sticking through my energy. Maybe you don't want to watch my readings for a minute while I get through this moon cycle. Anyway, until then, take really good care of yourselves and each other, and listen to Walt Disney. The way to get started is to quit talking, begin doing. And it may be bumpy, but if you stay committed to this process and you believe that you can do it, well, just believing in yourself will get you halfway there. Be the change. Be the change. Be the change. Until next time, I love you so much. Blessed be. Oh.